So with Google Analytics, what we're trying to do is we're trying to understand the web traffic. What traffic is coming into your website? What does it mean? Who are they from? So we, as business owners, we're always busy running our business, and we're too much into the operation side. So think about it. So if the business is your core, then there's different aspects. There's accounting, there's finance. You think about strategy, the human aspect. There's the marketing, there's the operation side. So Juuga Marketing, what we're trying to do is we're trying to focus on not just the marketing, and also how marketing can help operations within the business. So we've been around since 2012, and we're just trying to help businesses, small businesses, to get on and to be a little bit more efficient with the marketing. Okay, so a little bit more about how today's marketing world is. So typically there are 4 stages of how people get to know your business now. So I've often hear from people saying that they get a lot of business from referrals, from person referral. So I'll tell you the truth. People get your business card. Okay, if they're gonna be interested, the first thing they're gonna do, they're gonna go to your website. Okay, and that you can see the very direct relationship with that. We've also seen a lot of people who've been running mail outs, for example, like a direct mail campaign. You may not get any direct result from it. That's the biggest that I've found. But a lot of times when you run direct mail out, we see a spike in web traffic from people coming in. Like it's very direct. So what I do find is that Google Analytics is really the key that collects all the data. Okay, your website is really the key that collects all the data, and Google Analytics is the way to showcase it. Okay, so going back to today's marketing world, a lot of times when there's a website traffic coming in, okay, these are what we call visitors. Okay, so web visitors. Okay, but with web visitors, they don't necessarily have an idea of what you want, or they don't necessarily have an interest to be using your service. They're just browsing around. They stumble upon your website. So in order to qualify them from a visitor into a lead, okay, you really what it is you need to make sure that you have a kind of a freebie or something that allows them to exchange the information to you. Because as a web visitor, your data is anonymous, meaning that you don't know who they are. So when you go on a lot of websites nowadays, you actually see a lot of, say for example, you give me your email and you download a free report, a free white paper, okay, a guide to do something, a free trial. So these are all ways to change it into a lead. Okay, so that's the free thing will be lead magnet. That's really what it's called, a lead magnet. And the page that is on is called lead page. So when you're hearing terms like that, you have to start understanding why they call it like that. It's just the whole purpose of that lead page is to make sure that you have a way to draw the information from your web visitors, so you can qualify them. Okay, even though if they show the interest to download, they may not be ready to buy yet. Okay, so that's why there's also a nurture stage to how to get these people who had downloaded your paper, your free stuff, okay, and convert them into a paying customer. So that's the stage of nurturing, okay. And then once you've got them into a customer, if you offer a good service, if you ask them, okay, to provide a testimonial, for example, and to share that testimonial, that's what turns these customers into raving fans, and that will continue to bring on more referrals. So that's kind of the flow of how marketing on the web or in person, tell you the truth, is like. Okay, it's just that when we're marketing on the web, we don't get to see them, we don't get to build the relationship as strong. So that's why we need to make ways to touch them multiple times, and that's doing it through different social media and or even email. Okay, to keep that in mind. Okay. So with Google Analytics, so what is the importance of Google Analytics? Okay, so how many of you have been looking into your analytics recently. I remember there was a couple that says you checking it, but you don't know what it is. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, a couple of you. Okay, so one of the big things is you get to measure and track them over time. So, for example, if you have a seasonal business, okay, then, for example, for mine, I was just telling Gavin, for web marketing, my business season is actually in January and in September. Okay, that's when people want to start stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of businesses are like that. If you are an e-commerce site, if you sell stuff, then your business is probably going to be your big season, your Christmas, your Mother's Day, or depending on what it is, right? Every business has their own seasonality. So having analytics allows you to track across time and making sure that you can compare that between year to year as well. And it also allows you to understand who your visitors are, like where are they coming from? Are they coming from through a Facebook? Are they coming on through another site that you may be guest blog on? Like if you, for example, if you are a domain knowledge, everybody here is an expert of their own domain. You may be writing stuff, okay? Are people reading your blogs? Are people reading your articles that you published somewhere else and they found you through that? Right, so Google Analytics allows you a way to track that, okay? Track that. What I do find is that using analytics, it's yes, you read the data. The important part is actually to understand the data and understanding where you can make changes from. Okay, so and you can make the changes based on the data that's given. So that's the important part. And understanding which promotion techniques works well. If you put some money into Google AdWords, is it converting? Is it bringing in the right business, bringing in the right visitors? If you're using Facebook to bring in, are they doing anything? Right. So that's important, and Google Analytics can track all those. Okay, so what exactly is Google Analytics? So it's really what is a piece of code that's being embedded onto your website. Okay, so whenever people come across your website, it triggers a bit that goes into Google, and that's also why Google knows everything about you. Okay, they know everything about you, your business, and they know where your interest is, what your browsing history is. It's actually quite scary. It's actually quite scary. Google knows a lot, Facebook knows a lot, and that seems to be the way it is in the get-go. So, but with Google Analytics, as business owners, we really like that because now we have understanding of who these people are and how do you react to them. A lot of users, what articles are they browsing on, for example? What interest in they are in? Where are they coming from?
Yeah, it's pretty if no one's really looked into the detail, it's pretty good. So you can see what devices the people are using. If they're using like iOS devices or Android, you can see if they're mainly on the desktop or the mobile. So maybe some people like looking in your clients might be more, if you're in the older category, might be more used to the desktop, while younger people might be more browsing the phone, depending on what your clientele are. But like it's powerful stuff.
Yeah,
what device they're on, what location they're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So we're gonna go into that a little bit more, but I'm gonna present you my top 5 tips for Google Analytics, and we can walk through that with your example as well. Tip number 1, setting up your dashboard. Okay, so a dashboard it's different widgets that you can put on a screen, and that you can easily going back and referring to. So depending on, hello, come on in. So really depending on that's 7%. Yeah, so it depends on what you're focusing on. Okay, we can set up a dashboard for different occasion. If you're an e-commerce site, for example, then your dashboard will be on your products that you're able to sell, and how many of them are selling. If your focus is on the audience, then you can focus on, hey, where are they coming from? Okay, I'll give you a little example. Okay, not sure can everybody see here. So this one is the e-commerce website. Okay, so you can actually see how many visitors are coming. Okay, and then so this. and then what products are being sold, how many purchases, how many purchases there are, and you can see where they're coming from, how much revenue they're drawing in. That's the detail that you can get. So for this, you can see that there's a lot of them coming from organic, so they're doing a good job with the organic word. Okay, there are some that's coming from Google CPC, meaning that they're coming from the.
These are all the search engines and stuff that they're using, right?
Yeah, so there are different types. So you can see it from here. It's for example, Google Organic just means that when people typing and searching it on Google, okay. When you're looking for a referral, so that's a Reddit referral. So that's a website that people come from, and then they found the search from there. There's some from Twitter, but yet you can see that they make no purchases. So it's not being ranked, it's just being ranked by number of visits, but you can also rank them by the number of revenue. For e-commerce sites, the revenue is always the king. So always look for that. This website also runs some campaigns. So that's the Google CPC. So that's the Google AdWords campaign. So you can also track that they've also made some money from the Google AdWords campaign. There's also a lot of people who just come in, direct none, meaning that they just type in the browser. Okay, and then they just made the purchase from there. Okay, so you can see how much is it, and then there's some numbers you can find, how much total revenue, what's the e-commerce conversion rate, 0.4, it's not high, but as a newer site, that's actually a very good number. Yeah, so that's kind of the gist of it. So we can actually dig in to your site as well, to the Central Park Business Center.
Google Analytics, is this like all free or is this like an upgraded version?
That's right. So Google Analytics is free. It's free, and I'm just using the free version right now. Yeah. So if you go back in, you just have to go and log into google.com/analytics with your login. If you set up properly, then you should see a screen like this. Yeah. You should see a screen like this. So right now, the one that you see on the screen. Okay, so the ones that you can see on the screen, this is actually a real-time view of how many people are on the website right now. So there's nobody on the website right now. But over the past week, from June 7th, this is sort of the numbers that you can see. And this is like a quick dashboard that's very generic dashboard that appears on every single account. So here you can also see over the last week, how many people are coming in through, for example, June 7th last week, there's 9 people that come in from direct just typing in your website. There's 3 people finding you from Google Organic Search. Okay, and then today there was a huge spike. So I don't know if it's because people are looking for the address for here, and and that's how it creates traffic, right? So you can see it also there's a lot of organic search and there's a lot of direct search. So which is a good way to think about, because you're not spending any advertising, that I assume. So that's why when people are able to find you organically, that's always a good traffic.
Most from my data that I looked at from my website, most of it is organic search, but there is a couple that came from other, and I tried to research what other is, and nobody could give me a straight answer as to what it is.
Okay. So what I do find is that with web traffic, there are times that there can be a lot of spams as well. So one thing is when we help clients is we help them filter out the spams first before we can make it an accurate data. Okay, and then you can see what time people are coming in. Okay, for example here, Thursday at 1 p.m. I think that's now. You can set up a time zone. We want to make sure that it's the right time zone as well. I think it is the right time zone. So a lot of people search for that. Where they're coming from, because you operate in a very very local business. So I assume most traffic is coming from Canada, and you can actually get down deeper into it. We can keep going a little bit more.
How deep can you get into that?
Very deep.
Zeroing in where they come from.
Very deep, very deep. So this is just a dashboard. It's just general overview. I can go a little bit deeper as well later on.
So you can even go find the addresses.
Not address. You can get it down to a city.
But I'm saying email addresses like of a people
no email
But it's
addresses.
IP or whatever, I mean, this is like, I got enough to do, I can't believe that you actually can go into this, and it's just like,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, it is quite eye opening. So I think
Very much
something
so.
that's of value for you guys is what pages do they visit most, right? So the one with the slash, that's homepage. Okay, obviously because you're coming from an organic search, homepage will be the biggest one. Okay, and then guess what the next important one is furnished offices. Okay, that's not a surprise. I wouldn't think it's a surprise for you guys. And the next thing that they do is contact. Okay, so that's a good sign because that means that they look in your service, and then they would also be able to contact you. And again, you have also virtual office and also hot desks. Those are good products that you have as well, and those are people who are interested in as well. Okay. Later on, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about how to use these data a little bit more. Okay. This is the part that where you say, where's your top device? Okay. So right now, 83% are coming from a desktop, 14% are from mobile. Again, depending on the business, okay. For example, for Benedict, for you, like it could be tablet that's the largest, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of what I find is a lot of seniors they're actually on a tablet.
I was
more
gonna
than
say,
a
and
desktop.
and the kids, right? So
That's
we're
right.
talking adult children, right?
That's right.
So could be, mind you, yeah, predominantly I'm thinking from desktop and tablet, and then mobile would be maybe the last.
Yeah, it could be. So it will be interesting to find out
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
Wow.
So this part also dictates you to say, hey, how much do you should be invest. Everybody should be investing their website into a mobile friendly website.
Yeah.
Okay, but there are also cases that on a mobile website, it can be a simpler website as well. So for example, I have a client who is a chiropractor. Okay, he's telling me that a lot of people who are on the cell phone looking for them, okay, they just need to look up the direction to how to get to the clinic. So he had a very specific site on the mobile that only gives them direction. Okay, they're not going to showcase their blogs. They're not showcasing their services. Right, so there is different strategy that you can work on in there as well. Okay, and then it gets a little bit more challenging later because I'm not going to go into that as much. So this is a general dashboard that you can see, and we can dig a little bit deeper. But I'm going to follow up with my slideshow first.
Am I rushing you, or how would I find out how to alter that dashboard to my own specifics?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Here it is. So if you go to customization,
Okay, thank you.
you can go and go to dashboard.
Okay, I can
Yeah,
go from
and then you
there.
can
I just
create a
wanted you
dashboard.
to- I
Yeah.
just wanted you to point me.
Yeah. So you can go and create a dashboard. In fact, you can actually go in there and you can create a blank canvas, or you can use a starter dashboard, or you can even import it from a gallery. So I find importing it's pretty neat to have a starter,
Oh, okay.
a
So
dashboard that you
that's
can import
some
and using it.
basis to-
And that will get you, and if I just press cancel, you can actually see kind of a general dashboard
Okay.
view as well. For those of you, actually, I'm going to go a little bit deeper here too. I was planning to do it a little bit later, but I'll do it now. So here you can change the date. Okay, here we're doing you can pick the last 7 days, the last 30 days, or you can just pick a custom time. So if you're running a campaign, for example, if you're running a mail out campaign that you know Canada Post started delivering on the 22nd of last month, you can put it on the 22nd of last month, and then you
See
can
how
do
many
it for
hits
how
or
long,
whatever
right?
you wanna say. Wow.
You can actually zoom in the date. And another big feature is that you can actually go in and you can do a comparison. Okay, so that's something that I talked about. Is that you can compare to the month before.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an easy one. Or you can also compare to the year before.
Great.
Okay, so that goes, if you're an older business, then you can definitely go through year by year to see if there's any changes that you've been doing in the business that affected the change. So that's been very helpful. So if you actually do a little quick one. Okay, and that's where you can see the different colors coming in. All right. And the scary part is you can also see where people are coming, or
Yeah.
in terms of the percentage change. So that's a big part as well. it doesn't show very well on the dashboard, but that's where I also want to dig in a little bit deeper later on. Okay.
I see a lot of negatives there. Gavin.
That's what I
not too
was.
Yeah. So my comment to Gavin actually was like, hey, the last year hasn't been doing much, but that's also because the website is getting a little bit older, and that's why a refresh is needed, right? As well.
If you
at the same time.
think, what were you saying, if you don't or aren't constantly updating it and keeping it active, it will fall down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. But so that's why using Google Analytics is a good way to seeing sort of where you're at. At the same time, so I want to make sure I get back in. Okay, cool. All right, so that goes to my tip number 2. So this is a big one. So knowing your audience. Okay, knowing your audience. So yes, there are visitors coming in, but due to privacy, we don't know who they are. Okay, we don't know their email addresses. But what we can do is we kind of know their age, gender, the location they're coming from, what interests they are they on mobile phone or not. Okay, what is the most important thing is that you find out what channel are they coming from. So are they coming from a certain website, and you can, because right now your website should be your central place that collects all the traffic. Okay, you don't rely on just Facebook or just Instagram or just a single social media platform, because social media platform comes and goes. I've been around for long enough to see like platforms like Friendsters or MySpace. Okay, they come, they go. Facebook is gonna happen the same way. Okay, I hate to say it. Young kids don't use Facebook anymore. Okay, so yes, even though right now that can be your main focus, but 5 years down the road, things will change. Okay, trust me on that. So use your website as your main. Treat it as a storefront, as your own storefront, and treat it as your own property, because that's the only thing that you have. Okay, and you can adjust your tactics for different platforms. So when new platforms comes in, you can say, okay, I'm gonna be able to guess or start using or testing out that platform and seeing and measuring the results, right? And everything is gonna come back and measure to it. So again, this is the same kind of the client that we have with the e-commerce site. So here you can see like where they're coming from. A lot of times just a good general, a lot of site traffic is coming from organic and referrals, okay? And then only a small snippet is coming from paid search. So this client uses a very small amount of budget to get business on top of their organic search. So that's always a good number. It's always a good number, and you can see a spike whenever they have a campaign drive. That's the traffic that spiked up. Okay, and then with traffic, it also comes with the conversions as well. So that's the good result. That's the good result we're seeing.
Is conversion an actual sale, or is it?
Yeah. So for these guys, it is. For these guys, it is. But a conversion doesn't necessarily mean a sale for different businesses. A lot of businesses can't transact online. And a conversion for different business can be a phone call. Okay, it can be that they fill out a form to do something. Right, so that can be a conversion as well. It really, I have one of the tips for me is actually finding out what conversions you have, or that you guys would have as well. So we can go through that a little bit later as well.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, because I'm trying to understand, so as far as the conversion, how, because our sales wouldn't be posted online,
Of course not.
so
Of course
So
not.
if they need their email, they sign up to
Or
your
they
newsletter
give
or
you a
something
phone
like
call, that would
Yeah,
be.
or
your
I guess it
website
would be,
whatever.
making a contact, right,
That's right.
from them to us.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Okay.
So when it says referral for one of the top channels,
Yep.
what does that mean?
So referral means that it's coming from another website.
Okay.
Right. So for example, if you blog something, if you write an article on another website, and then you post that article, and that has a link that brings it back to the website.
So how
That's
does
what we
that
refer.
work? So someone asked me to be a guest blogger
Yep.
in New York, so
Yep.
how would I link that so that it comes?
Yeah.
from-
So there's often you can I should say, in that article you can often put a link back to your website. Say, hey, Angela is a owner operator for this
Okay, so
business.
they would have to hit my link
That's right.
for that to activate.
That's right.
So I have no idea how many have looked at it, they have to hit that.
That's right. That's right. So if you nowadays a lot of newspaper. Okay, they're doing a advertorial. Okay, so part advertisement, part editorial. So a lot of them will be referral traffic. So meaning that they'll write an article, that article would point to this website, right? And on Google Analytics, it will show up as a referral. Okay, that's really what that means. Okay, social, direct. Again, the big part for me is to understand what conversion is as well, right? So you can tell that paid search actually gave out the highest e-commerce conversion rate. Okay, whereas the direct is the second, but the rest not so much. So that's very revealing, okay, in many ways. Okay, so let's go into you guys and see what your
I don't
audience
think we
is.
have any conversion set up. I guess conversion for me would be someone clicking through to contact us. Same as the rest.
Yeah, so that one is always a good one. But part of my job as digital marketer is to actually help you understand or help you discover what lead that you can bring in. Like, what is it considered a lead? That when they sign up as a trial, for example, if you created a package of information of brochures that they can download, for example, that can be a conversion, right? Yeah, we can go through a little bit deeper too. So for here, on the left hand side, you can actually see the 4 different reports or 5 different reports. So one of them is the real time. Okay, this is your real time at the moment. So for a lot of business, this is actually not very meaningful. Okay, this one only works very well for if there are, for example, if you're running a time-sensitive campaign, then the real time will be important. For us, I actually don't look at it as much, the real time, but the audience is a big thing. Okay, so here you can see, once you click on the audience tab, you can see the overview. That's where you can see the number of users. So right now I still have it on comparison between last year's. This is where you can see like the traffic, the number of users, they haven't changed much. They haven't changed much because you only need like maybe 5 people left. Okay, yeah. So, but what I do find is that each person has been looking less and less. So this is the number of page view, for example. Okay, the number of page view in comparison is dropped 15%. So that means a lot of times you still have the same amount of audience, but each person has been looking at it less and less. Okay.
It's boring, Gavin.
So that's
Facelift.
yeah, or yeah, you need some kind of fresh content. All right, be it maybe you need to post up a little bit more of the lunch and learn that people can find you from, right? So this is why you can create more page views, or maybe video would be a good option as well, right? And then yeah, there's different ways to think about it as well.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, with regards to video, does that not open up, because a whole can of worms? Because I would love to go to a client and take a picture of one of our caregivers in action, or take a picture of our foot care nurse, whatever the case may be. But am I not opening a whole nother can of worms now? Because now I am using their image on our website. Like, I gotta do a privacy, a disclaimer. I mean, and it's great to do all that stuff, but am I not correct in that?
Well,
If I was to do video or pictures or...
that's a whole, discussion that we could talk later, but
Yeah.
we do ask for permission and stuff like
That's
that,
right.
so.
should that be something maybe at the beginning when I meet a client?
No, that's something that, so first off, just, I
Right?
don't wanna take up his time.
Yeah.
But I'll just give you the short answer of
Okay.
that, is you would plan what your intent is,
Mhm.
you'd find out what your need is,
Mhm.
and then we would discuss it all, and then when you go in there, you would sort of go ahead of time, do you mind being filmed? And then you would get this disclosure where you'd
Okay.
film it, say, my name is so-and-so,
Yeah.
and I give permission.
Okay, good. So then I
So
want to
that-
take, because
again,
I'd love to do that, but again, so.
Yeah,
okay,
it's true.
that was
It's
a
the same.
question.
It's the same way why when I tell you guys I'm going to record our slides.
Yes.
Right. I'll actually tell you guys ahead of time. Right, and I'll tell you what my usage is for as well. So a lot of them is just actually telling them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, but with audience, another next big thing you can look into is the demographics. Okay, so overview, you can see it's not enabled right now. I shouldn't say. So you need to actually enable it. So this is actually where you can see like the number of females and male. It's not necessarily important for you guys, but that's probably one of the reasons you guys didn't have it. But for Ben, maybe that would be something that's like a male audience may have different needs or expectation, right? And also age, of course. Right. So both age and gender. Quite interested. So with the geo is where the location is. I hope you have it. I'm pretty sure I've seen it. Okay. So this is how deep you can look into. So again, I have the comparison year to year on, and that's where you can see you dropping a lot in Canada. So, but you pick up some people from France. So I assume it's either people who are interested to set up office. Maybe they're from the France, or they're from the United States.
Nobody from Ireland.
No, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Right. So you can see where it is, and you can get it down to the city level. Okay, you get it down to the city level. So you can see Vancouver, the Parisian wanted to move here. I do want to introduce you one thing, but let me just take that comparison.
Have these tools been updated over the last 5 years? Like, have they been adding? 'Cause
the basics is always there, but they have been adding a lot of features as well.
I don't recognize a lot
So
of
one thing, a little bit for advanced people who's been looking at it, is the secondary dimension. Okay, secondary dimension. So you can actually add something into it.
This is secrets.
Yeah, these are little tips and tricks that you've been looking into it. That's what we've been finding is very helpful. So you say, for example, people who are in Vancouver, you're kind of interested to understand where they're coming from. So when I click in and say acquisition, I want to say, hey, let's see where the stores are. Okay, so you can see a lot of people who are from Vancouver who are coming from Google Organic. Okay, whereas the people who are from Paris, they're coming from this website that I'm pretty sure it's just a spam website. So this is how we can determine the traffic from Paris is most likely a spam. Okay, and then again, Burnaby and Surrey, very organic traffic, and then North Vancouver as well, and Calgary. Wow. So that can be your lead. Calgary is the one that's.
So maybe someone in Calgary is looking for a virtual office if they're setting up a location here.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Precisely. And then you can actually make it into more. You can get the top 100, the top 5,000 if you want to, and just see where the location is as well. That will affect your marketing. For example, if I want to do a mail out, if you know the majority of people coming from Vancouver, I probably just want to focus on Vancouver, right? Unfortunately, with analytics, this is as deep as you can go. It's the city level. With Google AdWords, though, you can get it down to a postal code. Right, so if you combine that with a direct mail, that's very powerful stuff.
I can imagine if you're going to loads of trade shows that in the US that you might have a lot of US traffic, and that would explain, or traffic from all over the world, and that might explain if.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's right. So in terms of audience, this is actually one of the most important things that you can look at. Of course, there's a lot of other stuff that you can play around as well, like mobile device. Are they from a Mac? Are they from a Windows? Right. So with a lot of small business, it's not a big issue, right? So I'm not going to go through that as much.
It's amazing how we've come.
It is. It's amazing how much information is out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That nobody is aware.
Yep.
Can you print these? Can you
print the reports?
Yeah, can you accumulate what you want and then
Yeah, so that's where the dashboard is. At the beginning of the first tip.
That thing on the left.
That's right, you can actually print that whole dashboard as well.
Okay,
so tip number 3 is to set up your goals and conversions. Okay? So different business have different goals and different conversions. Okay? If you can transact online, then your number one conversion will be the amount that people are buying online. Okay, but a lot of small businesses are phone calls. Okay, or the contact forms. Okay, but even before then, start thinking about your lead magnets. So remember what lead magnets are. Okay, lead magnets are the free information or a lower price item that you can get people to purchase or that you can get people to download in exchange for that email. Okay, so start thinking about something that you can offer for people, and then use that as a conversion. Okay.
Can I give you an example?
Yeah. For example,
on
yeah, go for it.
our virtual office page, so people shop around for a virtual office. They go to different locations, try to find the price. So we put in a lead magnet there, which is a virtual office comparison guide. So it compares all the virtual offices in the location. So they have to put in their email, and then they can download the guide, and then I can contact them after that and get on them straight away and see if they want a virtual office as one example. Maybe something for you, Benita, might be a guide, a how-to guide to first time for putting your mum or your dad in a home, something like that. Like a how-to guide for your first time doing senior services, something along those lines.
Yeah, and I would recommend you put that guide on a separate page. Okay, so on the lead page, on a page where you put in the lead, and your only intention is to tell them, hey, we have this guide that you can download, and in order to do that, you need to submit your email and phone number or phone number. Okay, so put it on a separate page on your website, because what you can do later on is you can use that as a page to promote. Okay, you can use that page and send it to Facebook. You can use that page to send it through your advertisement. Okay, so that people can come into that website on that page only. Okay, but different things you can do as well as that. If you have different accounts, you can account creation. If you run a newsletter, you can use that as newsletter sign up. That will be a conversion as well. If you offer a free service, free trial, that's conversion. You can also set it up such that if people hang around your website long enough, okay, that can be a conversion. So meaning that if people say if you have a lot of information that you just want people to look into, if they spend more than say 5 minutes within the website, which is forever in the web world, 5 minutes is a very long time. Or if they look at the video for more than 30 seconds, okay, then that's a conversion. That can be a conversion, right, as well. So yeah, so different things for different businesses.
So we can have a little pop-up come up if you're on the website for too long.
Yeah,
that you see quite often,
that
right?
you see quite often, and that's something actually Google is trying to cut down on because it's
That's a news, exactly.
It distract quite a bit
Yeah.
as well. But we still see people doing it as well. Yeah. So in terms of the Google Analytics side, that's where you can see how we're doing on time. We're actually a little bit over, right? Okay.
How many tips you have?
5. Okay. And the last 2 is pretty straightforward. I'm gonna go down a little bit more. Acquisition shows that where people are coming from. As well. So again, that's the different search that you can do as well. It also combines the AdWords. So if you run an ad campaign, you can also see where people are coming from, what keywords that they pressed in order to find your website. I have one that's afterwards talks about. So conversion is where it is. Right now, there's no conversion being set up, and that's actually a lot of business don't set that up. I highly recommend you guys to set it up. Just go in here, if nothing's set up, just say set up goals. Then you create a new goal, and you can define the goal as in make a reservation, make a payment, create an account. Yeah, media play, that's a good one for you as well. If they actually click onto a video, right? And then you can just set it up, and then because if you don't set it up, you can't measure it. That's the biggest thing. Okay. All right, my tip number 4. I'm very good at playing around this. 2 screen. Okay. Okay, tip number 4, user behavior. So that's a big thing that I think you just chatted earlier today. You can actually see what content they're coming from, how they're coming in, how many people are dropping out. As also you can see say for example, people who come in here from the home page, only a portion, maybe a third, goes to the next page, but most people would drop off. And then how many people continue through? So this is really where the user's journey is. So a customer journey. So for a lot of e-commerce sites, the first thing that draw them in could be a product. The next thing that they would look for is probably what is their return policy, like who are the testimonial, like who are the people who purchased before, okay? And then they'll be like, oh, should I buy, should I not? They're going to do a little bit more comparison shopping, so you're going to see them off-site a little bit, and then they can come back to your site and say, okay, I'm ready to buy. So it's kind of interesting when you see different businesses have a different flow. We can look into that where it is, and this is the last long tip. So this is under behavior. So behavior, you can see a lot of site content. For example, we see on the dashboard, like what pages are coming in as well. How long are people spending the time on? You can always click on the time. Okay, you can see the virtual office promo. People will spend 4 minutes on it. Okay, so that's pretty good. But it could be you as well. So we need to filter.
Myself,
yeah. No, but also because it also tracks how they're coming from, so one thing that we often do is we will filter out who, if you know your own IP address, we will filter that out as well. So that's a way to just say the people who operate on it, you don't get counted, right? That's really how it works. But you can see in terms of the time spent, that's how important like each page could be as well. Okay. But the behavior flow, that's something I would point you guys to. This is often overlooked, okay? And you can see it actually generates a very nice chart, how people are coming from the home page, and then the next thing they'll go to the furnished office, and then a bunch of people drop out, and then they go back to the home page again, okay? And then they go back to the furnished office. So they just go back and forth, you can tell. Some people are like that. Whereas the people who come from the contact us page, they probably found you on a website, on the Google search. You probably have different categories, you can contact us, and they just drop out. So this is, again, more likely that people are finding you just looking for the address, and then they just forget about it. They just get out.
And if someone's searching within Google Maps,
Yeah, it could be.
and that data will be included here?
Yeah.